which need tremendous efforts. So kudos to all. Life science is a field where we need to be constantly updated, and we are fortunate to have very influential and eminent group of speakers who will enlighten us about the recent trends and developments in the various aspects of life sciences. We will have Dr. Patrico de los Rios, Catholic University of Temuco, Chile. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. Shimili P. John, University of College of Bahrain. Dr. Naeem Mulangal, Qatar University, and Dr. J.M. Shashikumar from Haramaya University, Ethiopia, as international resource persons. Thank you all very much for accepting our request. Many renowned speakers from ICAR, Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Biotechnology, Sastra University, MS University, Regional Cancer Center, Thiruvananthapuram, ICAR, National Bureau of Fish Genetic Resources, Cochin, Madurai Kamaraj University, Manonmaniyam Sundaranar University, and Maharishi Dayanand University will also be lecturing on the research breakthroughs in life sciences. This program emphasizes to bring together teaching, learning, experimenting, researching, and practicing communities, all of you together. Provide a single platform for imparting, sharing, and experimenting various developments in life sciences. I hope this faculty development program will help all the participants to improve their performance by enhancing their knowledge and skills. Participants are the indispensable part of any event. I wish to thank all those who have registered for this event with huge enthusiasm. I hope this faculty development program will impart a great deal of knowledge to all our participants. My sincere appreciation and congratulations to the organizers of this international event. These viewers, once again, I wish you all success and my best wishes to you for the successful completion of this program. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Yashoda. That was a wonderful introduction.
Thank you, sir.
Now I call Dr. Shreya Nair from Ayyappa College to welcome the guests and the speakers and the participants. Dr. Shreya Nair, please.
Respected Chair, Dr. K.V. Jayashree, Principal, Sri Ayyappa College for Women, Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Saroj Kumar Swain, Director, SIFA, Bhubaneswar, Odisha, respected Dr. S. Nirmala, Principal, PSGR, Krishnamma College for Women, respected Dr. A. Palavesham, Manonmaniyam Sundarnar University, respected Dr. N. Yashoda Devi, Secretary, PSG College for Women, dear Mrs. V.R. Anjana, our head of the department, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Kapoor, MPU, Dr. M. Kanchana, Dr. Sarah Jason, PhD, Krishnamma College for Women, renowned speakers of the various sessions of the program, distinguished guests, honorable professors, and faculty members of various colleges and universities, distinguished scientists from various institutes, dear colleagues, PG and research students, and my dear friends, good morning one and all. Our former President of India, Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam, once said, I quote, "The purpose of education is to make good human beings with skill and expertise. Enlightened human beings can be created by teachers. Life science teaching is a complex activity that lies at the heart of the vision of science education. Effective life science teachers create an environment in which they and students work together as active learners. This faculty development program is a humble attempt to impart certain skills in researchers and teachers of life science. We carefully coined the title of the program as Research Breakthroughs and Technological Developments in Life Sciences, because of the objective to update the faculty and students of life sciences with the latest developments of our discipline. The pursuit of any scientific endeavor is noble, but the life sciences are particularly special. The life sciences empower us to answer fundamental questions about ourselves. Where did we come from? What is our place in the natural world, in the tree of life? Walking in the Maine woods, Henry David Thoreau, a great naturalist, wrote, "Talk of mysteries, think of our life in nature, daily to be shown matter, to come in contact with it, rocks, trees, wind, and our cheeks, the solid earth, the actual world, the common sense, contact, who are we, where are we?" So life sciences shine a light on our real identities so that we discover our true reality. The life sciences reveal central truths. The best scientific and engineering minds in history, regardless of discipline, eventually turn their attention to the biological sciences. For instance, the prodigy engineer, architect, and painter Leonardo da Vinci gained formal training in the anatomy of human body, studying the muscles and tendons and laying the foundation for biomechanics. It is a matter of great honor for me to welcome all of you to this virtual faculty development program being organized by Sri Ayappa College for Women in collaboration with ICAR, Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, Bhubaneswar, Odisha, PSGR Krishnammal College for Women, Coimbatore, and Maharshi Dayanand University, Rohtak, Haryana. On behalf of the organizers of the one-week International Faculty Development Program on Research Breakthroughs and Technological Developments in Life Science, I would like to express my utmost sincere gratitude for your presence in this opening ceremony as the gateway to the initiation to our scientific program. I am profusely overjoyed to take this opportunity to welcome and express my gratitude to Dr. Saroj Kumar Swain, ARS Director, ICAR, Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, for inaugurating this program. As we all aware, he is instrumental in research, technology development, and extension in the field of aquaculture. His proficiency and commitment in the field gave him boundless laurels. The prodigy, academic as well as professional achievements shows the inbuilt perseverance in him. He paced a long way to pursue his passion to develop the captive breeding technology of endangered ornamental fishes of India. The great British statesman Winston Churchill used to say, "I am always ready to learn, although I do not always like being taught." Sir, we are here to listen to your words of wisdom as the fruit of your experience and the many hours spent in your laboratories in trying to elucidate the mysteries in the field of aquaculture. Fellow members, please join me in giving our guest the best of cordial welcome. Welcome you, sir. I would like to place on record our deep appreciation of the support and assistance of ICAR SIFA Bhubaneswar, Odisha in making this international program a reality. With immense pleasure, let me accord a special welcome to our beloved principal, Dr. K.V. Jayashree, who with her humble and affectionate nature is motivating us all towards the path of academic excellence and quality enhancement. On behalf of everyone assembled here, I welcome you, madam. I feel extremely happy to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Nirmala Devi, Principal, PSGR Krishnammal College for Women, Coimbatore. She has readily accepted our request to be part of this joint venture for organizing this wonderful program in the international level. Welcome you, madam. I would like to welcome my head of the department, Mrs. V.R. Anjana, who leads us admirably in academic and research activities. She takes special care in making our department to conduct various academic activities for the benefit of our students. Welcome you, madam. I also express my gratitude to Professor Shukla, head of the Department of Microbiology, MDU Rohtak. I extend a cordial welcome to Dr. Krishnaveni, Head of the Department of Botany, PSGR, Coimbatore. Welcome you, madam. My pleasant duty is to welcome Dr. A. Palavesham, Professor and Head, Department of Animal Sciences, MSU, Tirunelveli, who is here to felicitate this program. Welcome you, sir. Dr. Yashoda Devi, Secretary of PSGR, Krishnamal, Coimbatore, is here to render felicitation. I welcome you, madam. We are grateful to 16 internationally well-known experts from India and abroad for their participation at short notice. They are very renowned scholars in the field of life sciences and are from reputed centers of knowledge and learning in Chile, Qatar, Bahrain, Singapore, and our India. I am extending a very warm welcome to each one of our resource persons to this inaugural ceremony. I extend my hearty welcome to faculty members from our college and faculty members from other esteemed institutions. The organizing secretaries, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Kapoor, Dr. M. Kanjana, and Dr. Sarah Jason have been working very hard for shaping this program in its present form. I thank them for their dedication, time, and efforts. I wish to thank our patrons, management, and organizing partners of ICAR CIFA, Bhubaneswar, MDU, and PSG Krishnamurthy College for Women. Without their generosity, we would not be able to create a total environment to support your full participation. I am also welcome the PG students and research scholars who are participating in this event. We have with us today representatives from research funding organizations, universities, colleges, as well as other research agencies as delegates. I hope that this one-week program provide a platform for thought leaders, academics, and researchers to share their ideas and views on common research integrity issues in the field of life sciences. I welcome Mr. Abhijit pursuing mechanical engineering at Tyagaraja College of Engineering, Madurai, who work hard hand in hand for designing brochure and website and giving us the technical assistance for this program. Thank you all for your presence and participation, and you're the very important part of the success of our program. Dear participants, enjoy the program and leave empowered and armed with new knowledge to boost the prosperity of human lives and to solve the various issues facing society. Welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreya, for that wonderful welcome address.
Thank you, Rajiv.
You did a very comprehensive coverage, very good comprehensive coverage of all the speakers, and you could very well summarize the whole program. It was wonderful to listen to you.
Thank you.
Just wanted to ask you whether your principal madam is present today?
Yeah, she's there.
Group?
Yeah.
She is presiding this function. I request her to deliver the presidential address. Principal Ma'am,
yes.
Ayyappa College of Women.
Namaste and a cordial welcome to all the dignitaries and participants connected online to these 5 days in the FDP program, international program on the topic research breakthroughs and technological developments in life sciences, organized by Zoology and Botany departments of Sri Ayyappa College for Women, supported by ICAR, Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, and co-organized by Department of Microbiology, Maharshi Dayanand University, Haryana, and Department of Botany, PSGR Krishnamurthy College for Women, Coimbatore. Scientific breakthrough breakthroughs are those sudden discoveries that have a major impact on follow-up scientific research. For nearly a century, scientific advances have fueled progress in agriculture, medical and healthcare field, animal husbandry, aquaculture, industry, space science, forestry, and a lot more. Biology being the most important form of science, the study of life and living organisms make it all the more important and has a huge impact on our world. The science of biology shapes everything from agriculture to psychology. And like most sciences, biology is rapidly advancing due to advances in technology which are changing the field forever. Moreover, the novel scientific discoveries with the potentially large impacts on global science and technological innovations are of particular importance to policy makers and research funding agencies. Research advances have also been central to breakthroughs. Researching plant is vital for our food security, maintaining our ecosystems, and in our fight against climate change. Few breakthroughs we witnessed in the recent past include the new and improved CRISPR technology called prime editing, developed by Andrew V. Anasol, and can precisely target and edit DNA sequences in human cells with the help of a new CAS9 endonuclease, a guide RNA called PEG-RNA, and a reverse transcriptase. During this process, CAS9 cuts a single strand without causing double-strand breaks, as seen with the past CAS9 enzymes. Now, the CAS9 knows where to cut because PEG-RNA indicates the site and carries the RNA sequence encoding the DNA sequences to be placed in that site with the help of the reverse transcriptase. This technology could correct up to 89% of known genetic variants associated with human diseases, giving hope to millions around the world. Then another breakthrough is 3D printing of human tissues without scaffolds with the help of bioinks. This technology of 3D printing is developing to such a level that it might allow the production of complex human tissues for surgical implants in the not so distant future. Other breakthroughs, for example, gene silencing, creation of Dolly, and human genome mapping. And with this human genome mapping, the information from individual genome gaps, scientists can not only discover genetic diseases better, but also uncover new clues about everything from a person's body odor to the person's tendencies towards addiction. Then another wonder is the stem scientists succeed in reprogramming the mature cells to undifferentiated stem cells. Then another one breakthrough is robotic limb fully controlled by brain. This breakthrough in biology has even greater implications for the biomedical field in the field. So the list goes on. Now this FDP aims to explore the scientific and technological breakthrough in the field of life sciences. We are able to bring delegates from different parts of the world to share their ideas and experience in person with their peers. In addition, this gathering will help us to establish collaborations in our career path. We hope that the outcome will lead to significant contributions to the knowledge base in these up-to-date scientific fields in scope. Let us hope that significant scientific breakthrough and technological advancement coupled with innovation have the potential to increase the efficiency, effectiveness, and impact of our efforts to meet the ambitions of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and create benefits for society, the economy, and the environment. Thank you for joining with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jayashree Madam, for updating us with the latest technologies in the field of life sciences. Madam, you very well said that there are many breakthroughs which have taken place in life sciences, and it is very important for all of us who are in the field of life sciences to update ourselves with the latest breakthroughs. And such platforms like the one which is we are going to conduct in the coming 1 week will definitely prove a very vital tool for updating all our stakeholders, especially the teachers and the faculty members and the scientists who are participating to update their knowledge with the latest findings in the field of life sciences. With that, now I invite our chief guest of the day, Dr. Saroj Swain.
Excuse me,
I'm very
Dr.
thankful.
Rajiv. Excuse me, Dr. Rajiv. Our HOD,
Yeah.
Mrs. V.R. Anjana is there to introduce our chief guest.
All right. Thank you. I didn't recognize you, ma'am. I'm really sorry for that.
Okay,
I'm
no
happy
issues.
that we have the HOD of Sir Ayyappa College, Dr. Anjana Ranendran, to introduce our chief guest. Now I hand over to you, ma'am, for introduction of our chief guest.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
Uh, I feel immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Saroj Kumar Swain. Dr. Saroj Kumar Swain is presently heading Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture as director, which is a constituent of Indian Council of Agricultural Research, New Delhi. He started his scientific career under Agricultural Research Services in 1991 at ICAR SIFA. He has been actively involved in research, technology development, and extension. He has contributed immensely to develop the captive breeding technology of endangered ornamental fishes of India. He has contributed successfully to the breed of more than a dozen of varieties of economically crucial indigenous ornamental fishes, leading to its commercialization. He has developed a new variety of ornamental fish from rosy barb and named as shining barb, ready for commercialization after successful field trial. He is the architect behind the establishment of ICAR SIFA Public Aquarium, and that was dedicated to the nation during 2004. He led a multi institutional project as consortium principal investigator of NAIP Livelihood and Component 3 of World Bank funded project. This project has helped to uplift the socio-economic conditions of more than 8,000 farm families from three districts of Odisha. Dr. Swain graduated with a master's in zoology from Ravenshaw College, Cuttack, and completed his postgraduate diploma in fisheries from Deemed University ICAR SIFA, Mumbai, with a distinction of gold medal. Later, he was awarded doctorate degree from Earth, Bhubaneswar, Odisha in 1997. In 2000, he completed a short postgraduate course in the University of Jerusalem, Israel, on aquaculture production and management and was awarded Certificate of Excellence. In his long career of research and studies, he has been awarded a diploma in marker assisted selection under University of Chile, South America in 2009. In his career of developmental research, Dr. Swain has been honored with many national awards for outstanding work on his field of research and developments. He has, to his credit, more than 35 research papers published in academic journals and 4 books and a number of extension and technology series publications. He has a design patent of a mobile diesel operated aerator and commercialized Cefacure, a medicine for controlling bacterial and fungal diseases of aquarium fishes. He also enjoys intellectual interactions, and he has been an excellent science communicator to popularize the biological science, and many of his fascinating science-based article has been awarded a space in major newspaper of Odisha and other states too. Very recently, under his guidance, Mahanadi Fish Diversity Study revealed few new ornamental fish species. One of them is Parasilorhynchus swinei, named after Dr. Swine. He was subject matter expert of GOI to prevent cruelty to animal issued by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change in 2017 for the benefit of large stakeholders of ornamental fish industry. In short, Dr. Swain is committed to the society and is open to any ideas that might bring about positive changes to life on earth. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very much.
Dr. Anjana. Thank you for introducing our chief guest, Dr. Sarosh Swan. I really learned some wonderful things. I didn't know that you have been experiencing such a huge subject. Like you are also introduced to microbiology and other things. So it is really good to have you, sir, as our chief guest. Now I invite Dr. Cyrus Swan for the keynote and the presidential address for the day. Dr. Cyrus Swan, please.
Thank you, Dr. Rajiv.
Thank you.
First of all, I will greet you. Vanakkam. Namaskar. Good morning to everyone. Dear Madam Principals, Dr. K.V. Jayasri, Dr. S. Nirmala Devi, Mrs. B.R. Anjana, Head of the Department, Dr. A. Palavesham, Professor and Head MSU, Dr. Yashoda Devi, Secretary, PSG Krishnamal College, Organizing Secretaries, Dr. Sriya G. Nair, Dr. Rajiv, the wonderful voice we are listening, Dr. Kanchana, Dr. Sara Jaishan, eminent guest speakers of upcoming sessions, Dr. Sundarai, my colleague, Dr. Ajit Kumar is also speaker, all the professors, participants, and others who are connected with this program in this virtual platform of 1 week international faculty development program on research, breakthrough, and technological developments in life sciences. I'm really happy to get connected with you all. I am happier that you have taken big initiatives for your faculties. We are happy that we have joined with you as a knowledge partner in this program. And in future also, we'll work together for the cause of science. ICR SIFA, a premier research institute located at Bhubaneswar, Odisha, established in 1986 under Indian Council of Agricultural Research, New Delhi, which is dedicated for aquaculture research, and our technologies have improved many livelihoods by enhancing aquaculture production as well as improving the skills of the needy. I am happy to convey that the topic you have chosen on research breakthroughs and technological developments in life sciences is the appropriate one, which looking into the global pandemic situation. The first reason is, of course, that life sciences concept is a basic of our activities in solving our environmental and health problems and has all kinds of applications in technology. Science is the understanding of nature, which human includes there, that tells us how things work. In particular, we are stressing here how devices of various kinds invented by human in present and forthcoming technology work. Therefore, those who know life science will be much more useful in coping with the technical problems arising from different sources. Life science academic training pathways rely heavily on research experiences in laboratory environments. In order to sustain long-term research projects, life science research faculty are charged with the important mission of recruiting and training future generations of scientists. Your college has been instrumental in graduating many young Indians who can take lead in life science research. If possible, by offering research experiences to your students, faculty can positively impact student retention and success. This also play a mentorship role that can be crucial, that can be critical in the success of the students. More generally, our community needs to understand how different types of laboratory practices impact the health of the research environment and the productivity of research terms. I believe that the academic research community recognizes how the various roles of mentors towards their students are operative in the workplace culture of the research lab. Nowadays, we are all sitting in our homes and watching what is going on in this world, as if we are watching a science fiction movie in which we have the leading role. Novel coronavirus COVID-19 first appeared in Wuhan and later turned into pandemic affecting the entire world. Does not discriminate between the degree of democracy, finances, religion, gender, ethnicity, and reason. World is a fireplace now, and we are all burning. This has created social, psychological fears and are increasing in the sphere of public interests. In modern society, with the help of mass media, everyone receives information that has taken place in the world, and often the information has a negative implication. At this moment, the colleges, universities, schools are all closed, and the students are in stress. And many things are in their mind about uncertainty, when the pandemic will go. All this contributes to the formation and development of a disaster consciousness, especially in emotional people and even in young students. At this juncture, you and your associates have taken a right kind of step to educate faculties and researchers with modern life sciences topic to be presented by eminent scientists of the country and also outside, abroad, which is really praiseworthy. As all of us are biologists and pursuing life sciences and research, we must take a big lead to educate the people and society. I congratulate the organizers, especially Dr. Shreya and team, for taking so much of pain for successful international faculty development program. It is a great pleasure for me to declare open the 1-week international faculty development program on research, breakthroughs, and technological developments in life sciences. Wishing you all a wonderful time ahead. Stay safe, stay happy. Thanking you once again for giving me opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Saroj Sven. It was really wonderful to hear you. You had such wonderful words, and you very well highlighted the importance of this FDP. And yes, I agree with you. I think almost everybody will agree with us that it is very important to regularly carry out such FDPs. And we are very thankful to you, sir, for your support to this program. that means a lot to us. So
Thank
I
you.
once
Thank you.
again thank Dr. Saroj Swain for supporting this program in the complete sense. Now I invite Dr. A. Palavesam for the felicitation. He is the professor and head Department of Animal Sciences and also the Dean College of Development Council, Manomayan Manonmaniam Sundaranab University, Tirunelveli. Sorry for the mispronunciation. That's something inherent. We cannot pronounce the words because I'm from North India. So, anyways, please forgive me for the spelling mistakes or pronunciation mistakes. I welcome Dr. A. Palavesam for the felicitation. Dr. A. Palavesam, please.
Yes, sir. Good morning to one and all present for this unique event. I am extremely happy to participate in the inaugural function of 1 week International Faculty Development Program on Research Breakthrough and Technological Innovations in Life Science. This event is being organized by Department of Zoology and Botany of Sri Ayyappa College for Women in association with Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture and Maharishi Dayanand University, Haryana, and Department of Botany, PSGR, Krishnamal College for Women. As rightly pointed out by the director Siba, and this topic is very unique and it is the need of the hour. And also, the selection of resource person is also a commendable one. The selected resource persons are all, that is, they are all industrious in their area of specialization. I hope the participants will be benefited much and they will definitely upgrade their knowledge for their academic progress. And with this word, I express my sincere gratitude for the organizer for giving me an opportunities for participating in the inaugural function. And I wish the every success of this unique event. I wish you all. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Palavesam, for your beautiful words. Now we are moving towards the end of this inaugural, and I invite Dr. Yasoda once again for the felicitation. Dr. Yasoda, are you there?
Yashoda Devi Madam is the Secretary of PSGR Krishnamal College, Mr. Rajiv.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's the secretary. Is she here? Okay. If she's not there, I would be happy to extend the
Just wait a
vote
minute,
of thanks.
Mr. Rajiv. Mr. Rajiv, just wait a minute.
Okay.
Hello. Few minutes.
can you update us whether Dr. Yashoda is joining us? Okay, I think, can you please update so that we may not keep on waiting for her? I can
Okay, proceed.
deliver the
Okay,
vote of
proceed,
thanks.
Rajiv. Rajiv, you can proceed.
All right. So we have nearly ended the inaugural program, and I am here to
ஃபெலிசிட்டேஷன்ங்கிறது ஒருத்தவங்க
uh,
அப்புறம் அவங்கள பத்தி பேசுறது கண்டுபிடிப்ப பத்தி சொல்றது
all right. So I'm here to deliver the vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank my Vice Chancellor of Maharishi Dayanand University, Professor Rajveer Singh, for being the chief patron, and Advocate N. Sangeet Kumar, Secretary of Sri Ayyappa College, and Yashoda Devi, Secretary of PSGR Krishnamal College for Women, for being the patrons of this FDP program. I would also thank President K.V. Jayashree, the principal of Sri Ayyappa College, Dr. S. Nirmala, principal of PSGR Krishnamal College for Women, and the conveners Anjana, Suma, and Krishnaveni, Madam, for their support for this FDP program, and our distinguished speakers and my dear colleagues. It's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks at the inaugural session of the one-week international faculty program that is on research breakthroughs and technological developments in life sciences. I would say that this is a truly a national as well as a global event, because both the institutes from the north, that is my university, and two colleges, women colleges from the south, are participating in. So we are, and our speakers are from all over the world. We have participants from all over India, and of course from abroad also. So I would like to thank Dr. Saroj Kumar Swain, once again, the Director, ICR, Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, for joining us at the inaugural session. His presence will serve as an inspiration to the dialogue as we discuss on the recent trends in life sciences. I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome and thank all distinguished speakers who have gathered here for different parts of the world. I'm sure that the deliberations over the next 6 days will generate fresh ideas, insights, and solutions to our common global challenges through life sciences. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our informed audience, without whose participation and involvement no such dialogue is complete. Before I conclude, I wish the dialogue successful deliberations and a complete success. Thank you once again to each and everyone to be here for the part of this FDP. And now I would proceed with the introduction of our first speaker of the day. We are now starting with the technical session, and the first speaker of the day for today is Dr. Jitendra Kumar Sundare. He is the head division of fish genetics and biotechnology at ICR, Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, Odisha, Bhubaneswar. I would briefly introduce this esteemed personality who is with us today for the inaugural technical session. Dr. Jitendra Kumar Sundare, presently working as Head Division of Fish Genetics and Biotechnology at ICAR. He completed his undergraduate from Odisha University of Agriculture and Technology after completing his master's from Ravenshaw University. He completed his, additionally, he completed his postgraduate diploma in fishery sciences from ICAR, Mumbai. Uh, that is the Central Institute of Fisheries and Education. He moved to Kyushu University, which is one of the renowned universities in Japan, in year 2000 for his PhD program in animal and marine bioresources. He completed the advanced courses in Japanese language also, so that he gets acquainted to the local conditions. That's really appreciable. Uh, he also completed an advanced course on science communication from Indian Science Communication Society, Lucknow, during 2014, and completed a postgraduate diploma in patent law also. So this adds to his qualification that he is well aware of the laws, and he did this from the NALSAR, which is again very renowned institute for the education of law in India. He was the chief editor of Journal of Aquaculture and president of Association of Aquaculturists during 2017 to 2018. In addition to this, he is also the associate editor of Journal of the Indian Society of Coastal Agricultural Research, Canning Town. He is also the chief editor of International Journal of Fisheries and Aquatic Studies. Uh, Apart from this, he has published 102 research papers. That's a huge number, and that that endorses that he's a thorough scientist in both national and international peer-reviewed journals. In addition, he has completed 17 conference proceedings, 22 book chapters, 30 extension brochures, and has delivered 3 technology bulletins. Uh, and apart from this, he has also been the project investigators for 7 completed projects, and he is he has also the distinction of becoming the fellow of Indian Society of Coastal Agriculture Research, Applied Zoology Research Association, Zoological Society of India, Odisha. Lastly, he is leading a multiple discipline team on Center of Excellence project from DPT for the genetic improvement of freshwater fish, Bayview cattle. So that was wonderful to have. It's really wonderful to have such an eminent person today for our first talk of the day. I welcome you again, sir, and I hand over the session to you for taking up the first technical session of this activity. Thank you, sir.
Very good morning to all of you. Welcome. Thanks, Dr. Rajiv, for the elaborate introduction. So let me congratulate all the faculty members of Sri Ayappa College and Maharshi Dayananda University from Rohtak, College from the Coimbatore. Hopefully, I am audible. Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Yes,
Yeah.
we can see your slides also.
Okay. Thank you. So once again, welcome to this presentation. I don't want to be in between and my presentation by telling here and there things. So let's come to the topic, innovation and technology development in aquaculture. And let me put a small question to all the faculties. So a faculty development program at Sri Ayappa College for Women holds the key for what? So the 1 or 2 slides will be more of interactive. If anybody can answer me, why as a faculty you want to choose be a part of faculty, or why a students want to be a part of Sri Ayappa College? Anybody can answer? Okay. So this is what we call it in a career planning. That's a will, action, knowledge, work principle. The point is, if I am joining Sri Ayappa College for Women, this is for any changes, right? So change in terms of like in your career planning, change in terms of acquiring knowledge. So if you look into the Trisul principle of Lord Shiva,
I think no voice. Dr. Sundarai, no voice. No, not audible. Dr. Sundarai.
Yeah, I think this is
No, now it's okay.
this problem is from his side.
Oh. Mhm.
In the meanwhile, till Dr. Sundarai resumes back, may I request Dr. Saroj Swain to briefly let us know the activities carried out by your institute. In what all areas are
Yeah.
you working? We are very eager to know.
Yeah. Sundarai, I think there is some audio problem. So, being a Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, it's a premier research institute, and we have the total area of this institute is 147 hectares, 350 ponds, and 50 hectares water area. This farm, total farm area, and it is located 10 kilometers from Bhubaneswar towards Puri, Lord Jagannath. And it's a temple city, Bhubaneswar, and many tourist people, they come here, and they think also Sifa is also another tourist attraction because we have a big sanctuary, like we have a big uh, bird diversity, animal diversity in this campus, Rolling campus, and moreover, we have a public aquarium. And with regard to research, our strength is we have improved, genetically improved three varieties. Like we have, am I audible? Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Yeah,
Okay.
we are liking your talk, sir. You are audible.
Yeah, thank you very much. We have three genetically improved breeds we have developed here. One is Jayanti Rohu, which is giving 17% growth per generation growth per annum. And we have a Scampi, freshwater Scampi, which gives 7% generation growth. And we have a genetically improved Katla. This is a part of Indian major carp. That also is popularizing nowadays. So our strength is three new varieties. I mean, three new strains. You can say through selection of three economical, very three varieties of carp and scampi. Besides that, we have a excellent fish food that is called Sifa brood, which has been commercialized already. And Sifa brood is, people are being used in farms, in different farms in India. Generally, fishes, they breed in monsoon months. So to attract the breeding of fishes before monsoon, so we are using Sifa brood. So all the fishes, they respond much before than the monsoon period. Generally, as you know, the carps, Indian major carps, Rohu, Mrigal, Katla, they breed in the monsoon months. And to early breeding, so we can feed them a nutritionally balanced diet. It's called Sifa brood. Then we have, in fact, a product like called Sifax. This is also very wonderful product which controls the bacterial diseases, Aeromonas hydrophila. So that bacteria, it causes some ulcerative diseases in the fishes, and that controls in the pond condition. And we have also we are going to commercialize one more product that is called Sifa Cure. That is also for aquarium fishes, the control of bacterial and fungal diseases. Besides that, we have a lot of technologies which are already in use. We have polyculture, we have composite fish culture, we have integrated fish farming, we have biofloc, so many technologies we have, and we have different products, aquaculture products. Like we have morels, which is called snakehead, is very popular in South India. It fetches the price about more than 1,000 rupees a kilo in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, other places. And we have different minor carps. And nowadays, diversify. If you talk about the diversifying species, we have several minor carps, and they are also, appreciated. They are also taken by a good return by the farmers, and the farmers, they appreciate. We have Pengba is from indigenous to Manipur. We have Fimbriatus from South India. We have so many species. Sarana, so many species we have in diversification of minor carps. Then we have Scampi. As I said, that we have normal Scampi, and we have also genetically improved Scampi. And we have already disseminated this technology to the farmers, to the dedicated to the nation. We have a national fish brood bank adjacent to our campus. It is just side by the campus, and and several multiplier units. So whatever we produce in our farm, is genetically improved, we should disseminate to the farmers through multiplier units. So there are 11 multiplier units in India where we have given Jayanti Rohu, and also the carp, like second generation of Katla, that is also being popularized in this part of the country. Then we have if you talk about the different divisions, we have fish production division, fish production and environment division are taking care of different production and productivity of the natural resources of ponds and tanks, and also the fish production. And we have also environment division, which takes care of soil, water quality, and all this. The scientists are working. This is the biggest division in CIFA, like aquaculture production and environment division. Then we have fish nutrition and fish nutrition division, FNPD, fish nutrition division, and they take care of the development of different types of fish feed, and they do research in different kinds of larval feed, different kinds of different stages of fish feeds, and also the brood fish, like mother fish. And we have a disease section also, division, and there also we have a lot of work is going on in fish diseases and their control. And like we have parasite diseases, we have Argillus, we have Lernia, we have so many diseases in the aquatic environments due to some managerial management problem. So to address those, we have also fish disease division, and also a biotechnology division, which the present speaker was Dr. Sundarai. He was leading the biotechnology division, and they are also doing a lot of molecular biology work in their division. And Dr. Sundarai, I think the mic is still problem. Audio is the problem with Sundarai, Dr. Sundarai?
Yeah, he has still not joined us, sir. But
okay. So I'll get a message.
Because,
if he can come here also, he can also, from another room. So I'll tell him to come here so that it will be easy for him also. And
yeah, that would be good.
I also welcome you all to come to CIFA Bhubaneswar to have a visit to this institute, and you can visit also nearby the there is a Puri temple, Lord Jagannath temple. Of course, the COVID pandemic has created a lot of problems for all of us, and mostly the farmers are not able to move. They are not able to come over here. Dr. Sundarai Kudaka, Dr. Sundarai. So you are all welcome to this Bhubaneswar. And I forgot also one thing to tell you. We have a social science division section where the scientists are dedicatedly working for the farmers. So we have a special dedicated WhatsApp number, and we have a email ID, and which have been very recently it has been publicized in different newspapers of India. So farmers now during COVID period, pandemic period, they are connecting with us, and we are planning to have a virtual training program. As per our calendar, we are planning to have a virtual training program in September 1st. We are going to start pearl farming. Moti pearl farming. We are going to start, and we have received a lot of calls from the farmers to learn this technology. Very recently, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi sir, he spoke on Man Ki Baat. There is a program where about a farmer of Bihar, how he has grown. How he has developed his livelihood in pearl farming. So there are a lot of demand now on pearl farming, ornamental fish farming, which I am looking after here. We have a facility, big facility on ornamental fish also. We have a public aquarium, and CIFA is always think for the disseminating the technology, whatever they are developing in lab, it has to go to the land, and the benefits should be taken. Benefits should be by the farmers, and they should get the maximum benefit. And CIFA is leading in that way. And very recently, that Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, which is a it's a good amount of money is being spent for this yojana, and CIFA is being given a lead role on freshwater aquaculture. So what we are planning to do, we are connecting to all the state fishery departments, their officials, to know the status. Where are they? What are their need? And how we can go ahead with aquaculture development in the country. So we are writing to them, and also we are connecting over phones and over email and all. And we are going to have a in this month of August, we are going to have a virtual series of consultation with State Fishery Department, National Fisheries Development Board, and our subject matter division in ICR. And we are going to go for a big discussion, and we are inviting them, and we will get the information from them. And also we are planning to have a discussion with all the stakeholders of the country, entrepreneurs, then feed companies, medicine companies, farm implements companies. So many big players are there, which are also responsible for developing the aquaculture in this country. We are also consulting them, and also we are also contacting the line departments, bankers. We are also contacting the bankers and NGOs and many other people in the virtual stakeholder meeting. And besides that, we are also connecting different KVKs, Krishi Vigyan Kendras. So through Atari, we are connecting them also, and hopefully we can get a strategic document by the end of this month, and we'll submit it to Government of India Fisheries and for the implementation. So that's what we are planning for
Yeah,
the
that
SIPA right
was,
now.
yeah, Dr. Saroj, it was good to learn from you the kind of support you are extending towards the startups. I would just briefly, I'm eager to know what all are the basic prerequisites to start up fish farming. Like if a person is really interested, so what are the basic prerequisites or what are the basic requirements to have a startup, to start up into this business?
Yeah, it's all depends on the farmer or entrepreneur, what kind of series of pond, or a pond of half acre or 1 acre area or something like that. Then he should have the water source, whether this is near to river or near to, you have the facility for water for borewell and other things. I mean, the water level should be there in the pond. He has to excavate the pond, and water should be there in the pond, at least minimum 5 feet water. And the species availability, which kind of species you want to plant. If it is nearby, then it's no issue. If it is also a little far, the train and bus services are there, and they can get the oxygen packed seed. And especially right now, the people are interested for a high genetically improved rohu, katla, all this. They are now very much interested. And there is also a amurkar, which is a bottom dweller. That is also a genetically improved fish. And he should have the feeding, the knowledge of how he can go for fish farming. He can go for a training program in Central Institute somewhere. There are 8 institutes, and they can go for a training on freshwater aquaculture or whatever, the brackish-water aquaculture or whatever. He can go for that. Then he should have also knowledge on fish feeding, what kind of fish he is going to range, and what are the feeding strategy, what is the feeding, all these nutritional aspects he has to learn also. And he can buy also fish feed. And water quality parameter, the knowledge also he should have. What is the water quality, optimum water quality parameter for better growth of the fishes. And he can stock kind of fingerling, 5,000 to 10,000 per hectare. He can go for. It is generally the present day farmers, they stock a fingerling of a small size of fingerling of 10,000 per hectare of water. That is 2.5 acre of water area. And if you consider the economics part, like profit, because without profit the farmer will not sustain. The profit is, I can say, it is 10 times more than the normal paddy culture. So profit is enormous. So he can think of diversifying his culture, like his system diversification. He can go for, like for example, he can go for a area demand specific species like Morel, which is very popular in Andhra Pradesh. He can go for morel culture. He can go for a, pabda culture. This is a high value fish again. Now people are after this biofloc and RAS, all the system, the new technologies have come. So in fact, in SIFA, the scientists are working on this aspect, biofloc and RAS, and maybe due course of time we can come out with a kind of technological package. And this pabda is a very good species. It's a catfish, and it can fetch us a good price in the market, like in north, like Siliguri, West Bengal, and other places. The price is being sold 1,800 rupees per kilo. It varies from place to place, 800 to 1,800 rupees per kilo. So PABDA can be very well, cultured in biofloc tanks or RAS tanks, where we can go for a good economics. We may not get a good economics from tilapia. We may not get a good economics from other pangas or any other species, but a high value species will give a very good dividend, in the culture system like RAS and biofloc technology. So there are so many things are coming up recent days, and farmers are very much enthusiastic, and they are interested. And being a central institute, we are receiving a lot of requests for the farmers, entrepreneurs, different companies. So our technology is there, and they are also coming ahead. And we have many products are commercialized. We have several products commercialized, and some are in the pipeline. Some are also taken care of by our institute, and things are moving in the right direction. Let's hope the the practice will go on, and the people will get the profit from this knowledge.
That was great to learn about the wide aspects that your institute is leading. When it comes to fish products, so is there any specific products derived from fish that your institute is focusing on?
Yeah, we were working on fish processing technology, but we have also several products are also commercialized, like fish balls, fish buffers, fish pickle, prawn pickle, and so many things are also commercialized. But right now, our processing unit, the concerned scientist, is superannuated. So we are also planning to have a special unit for the processing unit. And right now, the Central Institute of Brackish-Water Aquaculture, CIFT, Central Institute of Fisheries Technology, they are in Chennai, in Cochin. They are looking after the processing of brackish-water fish, marine fish, and also freshwater fish. But still, we are also yet to establish a processing unit in our CIFA.
So it would be good if you can share the training programs which are organized by your institute, so that we can circulate it to all of our participants and to all the colleges for a wide publicity of your institute.
Surely.
We would be happy, sir.
Yeah, this is a very good suggestion you are telling. And in fact, our website, if you go to our website, www.cifa.in. If you go to our website, CIFA website, you'll find the training programs are already there. And actually,
Dr. Swain, can you please type it in the chat box?
Pardon?
It would be good if you can type it in the chat box. There is a chat box. If you can type or I can, you can just speak out. I can type.
Yeah, I can type it. It is www.cifa.in. Is this okay? Is this okay? cifa.in.
Yeah, I think we.
Yeah.
Yes, we have received it, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be giving also, in fact, our WhatsApp number. Of course, it's not with me right now, but I can get it. There is a exclusive WhatsApp number and also email. I'll just right now, it's not with me. I can give you it later. And that's an exclusive WhatsApp number. Our cell is there. They are working in the social science section, and the farmers, the entrepreneurs, they connect with the exclusive WhatsApp number, and I can give you little later. Just now, wait. And in this website, we have the training calendar. But still, during this COVID, we are planning to have a virtual training on, we have just started with Pearl culture. Amar jo exclusively WhatsApp number or email ID. WhatsApp number or email ID. So Dr. Rajiv, if somebody can go to
Yes.
our website, they can get a lot of information. There also website, if you go, there also WhatsApp number and our email ID is there. If anyone would like to contact, he or she will get the reply very soon.
That's really, it was really good, Dr. Swain, because you took up the talk of the day. So the first technical the first technical session was really very understandable. Like generally, we really enjoyed listening to you, because this was something which was a journal, and which really, I think each and every one of us enjoyed listening to you, sir. We learned about your institute, and being the director of the institute, you very well explained each and every aspect of your institute, and I appreciate your thoroughness of the subject and about the knowledge about your institute. We would be definitely circulating your website and the training calendar to all our participants, and I request all the participants to further circulate it amongst your students, because being an entrepreneur and is the need of the hour. Even our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, has specially emphasized on a Startup India program, which, and I am also a part of Startup India program, being a patent agent. So I can facilitate all the patenting activity. If any one of you wants to file a patent about any technology, so you can take my help. It is free of cost for the startups under the scheme.
Nice.
So yeah, so it was good, Dr. Swain, to have you with us. You actually saved the first session.
No, it's okay. I don't know
Otherwise,
what is the status. What is the status of Sundarai? What is the status? Where he is?
Yeah. Anyways, we would contact Dr. Sundari later on, and if we have a slot, we will definitely ask him to deliver his talk later on. But for
Let
today,
let me have a final call.
yeah, please.
Eating place room ko. Then you started. Yours is going on? No, it's not audible. Oh, Dr. Rajiv, this program is going on? Dr. Sundarais? Dr. Sundarais was saying that his
I think
program Dr. Sundarais is saying that his program is going on.
I think I'll check up with the technical team. Anyways, we will
Please ask others. Please ask others whether they are able to hear it or not. I'm not able to hear.
Okay, yeah. Because this was the platform on which we were meeting. There are 75 participants here, so we don't see any presentation here. But for today, we will. I'll get back to Dr. Sundare once again. But for today, I think we have exhausted the time which was allotted to Dr. Sundare.
Oh,
and
excuse me, Dr.
with the
Rajiv?
vote of yes.
Yeah, Dr. Sundare can resume.
Dr.
Yeah,
Sundare
another
can
half an
resume?
hour.
Maybe Shreya, what I suggest is that he's
he's
here.
here.
Dr. Sundare is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
His mic is
We
off.
are still not
Yeah.
able- yeah.
No, did you see?
Doctor,
My goodness, I have been talking for last 30 minutes.
This is really strange. Your director is also talking from the last 35 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
eh, anyway, you can carry on. I think, please.
So you
I think the
didn't
organizer can
We are
carry.
left,
listen a
we are
single
left with some more time.
So did you listen some slides or not?
No, sir.
No,
Oh my
We have
God.
not seen. We have not seen. We have not seen any slide. This is the
My
first slide we are seeing.
No, that time Rajiv told, that's why. So can you give me 30 minutes? I can wrap up.
yeah, we would request you to quickly wrap up the main findings of your innovation and technology. We will listen to you, sir. Please carry on.
Okay, did you see this one before Corona, during Corona, after Corona? Please be someone need to be with me by which at least I know what is I'm talking. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, it is visible. It is visible.
Okay, this is what I was talking about, like the
Yeah.
life before Corona, during Corona, and after Corona. We don't know what is going to happen after Corona actually. So I don't want to get into this. Let me go to the directly. Okay. So let me like a little bit brief about like in ICR CIPA, how does we work actually? We get into the basic research, interdisciplinary research, transdisciplinary research, and the societal research. Hello? Hello?
It's audible.
Yes, we
It's
can.
audible. It's audible.
Yeah.
Please carry on.
Please carry on.
Oh, sorry. So this is like sustainable development goal when you talk about aquaculture as an industry, work for the no poverty, zero hunger, life below water, and the quality education. What we are talking about the quality education from today, what we are doing actually. So why fish is important? This is because if you look into the production capacity, we have a 170 million tons across the globe. It has a lot of nutritional benefits, and it has a lot of business proposition, and it gives help to 10 to 12% world population. And fish is the nutrition powerhouse. We have minerals, essential fatty acids, and vitamins. And because again, because I am killing time, but challenges is the only thing about for the 9 billion people. What are the important changes we have? Climate changes, sorry, challenges we do have. This is about the climate. Hello. Yes. Actually, I'm in a meeting. Can I call you just 2 minutes or 10-20 minutes? Is it okay? Uh, Actually, actually, I'm in presentation. Otherwise, you come inside, no problem. Yeah, please. Sorry. If you look into this aquaculture production, India in the number 2. If you look into the difference between China and India, it is quite huge. But what I mean to say, we have technology, we have resources which we can do it. And this is what aquaculture and economic value chain, how it is. The blue revolution helps in to develop different technology and economic proposition. This is what I'm talking about, how India eats actually. So if you look into non-veg populations across India, this is red circles are more non-vegetarian and green circles are vegetarians. This is different stages of aquaculture, nursery, hatchery, nursery, rearing, growth. It's about like in a small, you produce small size, then you go for sub-adult, then you grow for the larger size. This is what I was initially was talking about, low input. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are audible. Yes,
Oh,
clear.
okay. Okay. So this is what I was talking
Yes, we
about,
can hear you.
looking into the input and farming technology. When you go for low input, you have extensive. When you go for higher input, it is more of intensive, semi-intensive. But the only problem is the higher input, the complexity of technology comes up. So you need to have a sustainable model how you take up the aquaculture. So if you look at this particular tree, this is how you look into your research or technology methodology by which you can develop innovative aquaculture technology. You need to have a technology for the seed, feed, health, then genetics and biotechnology like BT cotton, BT brinjal, like how CRISPR-Cas9 technology, and the grow out. Again, when you talk about innovation, it's about idea, and when idea comes about research and development, proof of concept, scale of studies, and the innovation. Finally, the product as a connoisseur. So these are the few technology, innovations definitions. I don't want to get into this. So hopefully the slides will be shared to everybody. Let's take the example how the invention and innovation takes place. You can look into this old type, the grinder, how it has given a concept to give a handle and a wheel. Sorry. If we look into this, how the computer came out of the integrated circuit. The inventions refers to the creation of a brand new product. Sorry. And innovation is the act of making changes to the existing product. So again, I'm underlining this is making changes. And when you have a money, then you put in knowledge innovations. It gives a different theoretical principle. But if you put it challenge with your knowledge with money, then finally you bringing a product which called it's usable by everybody. You have biological innovations like plant breeding, mechanical innovation, radio and cars, chemical innovations like pesticides, and institutional. Look into the bank innovations. Bank is totally under your custody and your palm now because of innovations. So what is CIFA's approach actually? We look into biology of any species, whether it's ornamental food fish or commercial model fish. We look into biology. When you join the biology and omics, then it comes as innovations. So once we get innovation, we need to look for a technology, how to commercialize this technology for the public use. Only technology does not help us. You need to have a patent, you need to have a IP protection for the technology. And the biosecurity. Biosecurity is a more of a important things. By you might be knowing how does we take the help of biosecurity non-pharmaceutical measures for avoiding the corona contaminations. You have a sanitizer, you have a gloves, you have a mask, you have everything. And finally communication, how do you reach your science and technology to the societies? So you have a lot of social media, you have seminar, conference, like what you're doing a virtual discussion over here. Finally outreach, so where how it is reaching to the maximum people. So this is what like once Einstein mentioned, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them, right? So you can look into the size from the mobile size to the come to the small size. So this is what we look into innovations. Why I'm talking about innovation is because production, if you look into 2018-19, the production figure is 13.70, but government has given a target to have it 20 million metric tons. So this is without having innovative technology innovation, we cannot possible. So how does it do it? You need to improve your traditional farming system. You need to have lot of IoT, artificial intelligence. You have a lot of submerged cages or deep sea cages. So innovation, it is more about either you innovate or you die. So who gets benefit of innovation? Both farmer as well as consumer, because farmer got a very alternative varieties which can have overcome the climate change effects, and the consumer get a very free and disease less of contaminated feedstuff for his benefit. So Scamper techniques of innovations, I'll go very because I am already taking a lot of time. This is what I'm telling about. You can substitute, you can modify, you can combine, you can adapt, you can put it in another use, you can eliminate. you can reverse. Point is, if you developed a prototype which is not suited to particular Tamil Nadu, but that prototype can be used in Odisha, I have the liberty to modify all those things by which it can be useful. So this is what creativity and discovery skill leads to idea, and courage, when you put challenges, it have a innovative idea into innovations, right? So discovery of penicillin was an innovation. What was the idea? There was some factor in the penicillium mold that not only inhibited the growth of the bacteria, but more important, might be harnessed to combat infectious diseases. So idea was experimented with the research, it was confirmed and observed that phenomenon by redoing the same experiment, and developed and discovered is a penicillin antibiotic, and it is produced and marketed. So look into the development phases of innovation. How does a innovation takes place? I was giving an example of Jayanti Rohu, improved Rohu. So we came to know the Rohu having a slow growth rate. But we could know there are different genetic pools across India, but if you combine them, start breeding between them, we can have a better product, which have a better growth rate. So we had identified the opportunities that we need a better growth rate fish. Then we developed the opportunities by which what happens, we collected the fish from different genetic pool, brought to CIFA, breed in between them, and we could know there is a particular group which is having a better growth rate. So when you got a better growth rate, we need to have a pan-India demonstration to prove the technology is feasible. So that was a scaling up. Once you scale up your technology, then finally how do
voice? Yes.
so this is where how can you plan for innovation process. So this is what I'm talking about, Jayanti Rohu. This particular Rohu is improved varieties having 18% genetic gain compared to the normal, and it is having 40 to 50% faster growth compared to the normal. And this, but with innovative approach, we have a disease resistant Jayanti Rohu also. Katla, this is another species which is having a 15% genetic gain at the end of second generation. Shining bug, which initial madam was talking about, and this shining bug was being developed by Dr. Saroj Kumar Swai, our honorable director. The beauty is the male is a different color, female is a different color, but if you breed them in natural selection process, they give a different color. So this is what called as shiningness. Scampi, this is a very popular this prawn varieties. It is with again by innovative genetic principle, we could get this Scampi, which is having a 17% genetic gain. Look into how does the transgenic fish develops. I'll just go very simple process. You have a promoter and you have a growth hormone. You prepare a gene construct and you insert into the bacteria plasmid, then transfect to the target species, then you get a transgenesis. So this is what initially you have a Labiorhoita genome, you have a promoter, you have a gene, auto-transgenic construct, in vitro evaluation, and you got a transgenic. This is what did by CCMB Hyderabad. You can see the difference between the auto-transgenic Labiorhoita and the normal transgenic, right? Take the example, another species which all might be knowing, Aqua Bounty salmon, right? So Aqua Bounty salmon, if you look into that, they have taken a growth hormone from the Chilang salmon and the promoter from an ocean pout, and the construct was made and it was given to Atlantic salmon. What has happened actually? So because of that, you can see the difference in the growth rate, right? I'll come to the next slide. So this is, if you see the Chinook salmons and ocean pout promoter, we put it Atlantic salmon, you get an aqua advantage salmon, right? So what the benefit is that if you look at this particular graph, aqua advantage salmon get a weight of 500 gram in the span of 250 days. But without this genetically modified, the same salmon used to get the same 500 gram at the end of 400 days. So you could see that the impact of an innovative technology. So what if you look at the measure impact, the transporting aqua advantage salmon emits only 23-25x less carbon than the two major source of US Atlantic salmon. Now, when you This, if we look into the US salmon, like the consumption, you can look into the carbon footprint. Aqua Advantage salmon is having a less carbon footprint compared to Norwegian salmon and Chile salmon. So this is what at the ICAR SIFA we are doing lot of value addition in the ornamental fishes. So we can bring the autofluorescence in the different. If you shoot the left side, there are the species which have the transparent body. There is a possibility to have a like adding coloration or the fluorescence by through the CRISPR-Cas9 technology. And this is a product from the first editing genome, this tilapia. This particular tilapia, if you look in again gene edited, 70% significant improvement in the filleted. You might be knowing the tilapia is famous for the filleted. 16% growth rate improved, like what Jayanti Rohu got at 18%. 14% feed conversion rate improved. This is called what is the FCR, and shortening of the feeding time. And this is a recirculatory aquaculture system where you can have different type of fish without like in a controlled environment. This is a new technology coming up. If you look into Mailadurai, right, RGC is having, SIBA is having RS system, even SIFA is having, CIMEFAR having in the Mandapam system. And this is aquaponics, like how do you use the aquaponics, particularly it's a trade-off between the water and the fish waste and the fish and the plants, right? So each byproduct used as another input. So this is what like new system is coming. I mean, you look into aquaponics. This is fish product waste and the bacterial convert waste in the fertilizer, and it goes to the plant filter waters. And again, in the plant derivatives can be used as a feed product for the fish. And already you talked about innovative marketing, marine and freshwater products. How this corona has opened up many online platform companies which are giving as per your choice demand food at your doorstep. And again, if you look in assumption of during corona scenario in aquaculture, this will bring a new consumer mindset challenge, and consumer buying power will reduce due to the drop in economy. But you have a new buying experience by buying the fish or value added product in from the online platform. What are the challenges and innovators of innovation? Strategic challenges: if you are having unclear goals, if you don't have a specific goals, then your innovation will be halted. Operational structural challenges: as I talked to you, a prototype for Tamil Nadu may not be useful for the prototype for Odisha. Legal challenges: you might be knowing the famous case of Bajaj Automobile and TVS for a particular bike. So you have issues of intellectual property right. Cultural challenges: negative attitude and worries, right? So take the example like in Aqua Bounty salmon was not permitted even in Norway and America, right? They had a feelings that this particular product may have a, if they start like breeding with the natural stock, what is going to happen? So negative attitudes and worries will be there. And if you look at taking innovation forward, charting your goals, let's have a discussion what should be our goal. Like you had a goal to have an international faculty development program, right? Then listing pros and cons. We have a difficulties of like connecting everybody because it's a complete digital divide. Maybe the wavelength or the speed what I'm talking here through this internet may not be in the same in Coimbatore. Choosing a method and piloting. Let's have a something in the piloting scale. If you can do the piloting, then next phase becomes so easy. Then executing and repeating. So once we execute things, go on repeating the things. Then what should be the innovator's attributes? So in innovator's attribute, I have another 2 slides only. Is it? Are you hearing, Dr. Rajiv?
We are here. We are here, sir.
Okay.
You have still some time. You can carry on.
Okay. So if you look into attributes of innovators, first is ego in check. Most of the innovators are having, but most of normal people don't have. Confident, not arrogant. Be confident in your technology, but don't be arrogant. Continuously curious. You need to be curious about your own product. Good listener. We need to be a good listener. Don't let their emotions affect their innovation effort. You know, when you come out with a product, there is a lot of opposition from your own colleagues, then higher ups. So you will like, you know, don't allow your emotion to kill you and can take direction. When you get failure from everywhere, but you should be in a position to take a directives. The best example is Serum Institute in India. How innovative they are. I think they will be the most crucial factor post corona or during corona to give the vaccine across the globe. So science, if you look into like innovation, science is the only for the collaboration only. Science thrives on sharing. Scientists perish if they are prefer to live in isolation. Today, I am thankful to this Sri Ayappa College to bring everybody on one platform to talk about the science. Right? You might be knowing about the popular picture of a lone wolf scientist toiling alone for good of humanity is a common caricature, but in reality, we know science is very social and networked activities. Today, I am connected to Chile, to Haryana, Tamil Nadu, even within my institute. So we must like, you know, fostering this collaboration. Fish as a health food. You know, you have a lot of advertisement for the egg. You have a lot of advertisement for other like, you know, non-vegetarian products. Why can't you take fish as a health food? Let's promote that one. You have, you know, you have every nutritive value of every fish. So can you celebrate, like, you know, tie up with one celebrity who talks about the good quality of the fish? And those are in Coimbatore. I think you might be knowing the IRA mean which is produced in Tanjavur and Madurai. 4 IRA mean in a curry plate cost you around 800 rupees. And it is highly beneficial. Take the example Morel. Take the example Anabas. Right? So these fishes have a lot of biomedical importance. We need to promote fish as a health food. I'm coming. So, you know, why innovation is so important? These slides can tell you what is common and what is how they are different. This is no doubt this is all cricket, but the left picture is about the test cricket. The middle one is about 50 over. The last one is about 20 over. Can you ever believe the 20 over match has brought a lot of economic incentive to India and lot of innovations into this? Look into the power of this innovation. So the whole IPL is moving to Dubai now, right? So the point is telling if you have a one technology which can change everything, so you should work for that. So again, this is what is common and what are the different. This is nothing to look into this because being a women college, all you might be experiencing this one. So still you have a village barber who cuts your hair at the 20 rupees, right? And still you have to pay around 400 rupees to cut your hair in the city, right? So this is what, like, you know, you get maximum from minimum for a better service, right? So this is what, like, you know, if you look into Professor Maselkar's Kuru Mission Kurukshetra of Reliance Foundation, so he has been talking about more from less for more. More from less for more, right? You get a more from less, you get a maximum benefit from a T20 match. If you look in the time duration, that is less as attribute, and you're getting more benefit, right? So this is what, like, you know, looking into Corona, we have started an initiative COVID response series. And this is what, like, you know, we have analyzed the sun-rising sector aquaculture in India during pre-post COVID-19 pandemic. I'll be sending this particular series to Madam Shreya. She can circulate with everybody. And this is last slide. Like, when you have innovation with you, you are a good innovators. And how do you maintain your scientific reputations? This is not mine. I got it from Philip E. Bourne. Think before you act. Rule 1. Do not ignore criticism. If somebody is criticizing you, don't ignore that. Do not ignore people. There are many people who comes to help you. Rule 4, diligently check everything you publish and take publishing seriously. Right? So this is like, you know, I told about do or die for the innovation. Publishing also same thing for all faculty people. Always declare conflict of interest. Do your share for the community. Do not commit to tasks you cannot complete. Do not write poor reviews of grants or papers. Do not write reference for people who does not deserve it. You know, sometimes your paper get rejected, the reviewer will tell that, okay, unless you write that reference, paper cannot be accepted. But don't change your attitude. Stick to your whatever is the original objective or findings. Never plagiarize or doctor your data. Why I brought it? Because most of it's a faculty development program. We are also sometimes become faculty in some of the education institute. I think this is high time essential to know this rule. This is my last slide. If you are committed to creating value and if you are not afraid of hard times, obstacles becomes utterly unimportant. A nuisance, perhaps, but with no real power, the world respects creation. People get out of your way. I think you might be knowing who is she. I don't want to tell about, because being a women college, women institute, you must understand who is she. And this is the high times to become a champion of changes. So it is not the strongest species that survive, not the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to the change. If you look into my one of the slides I talked about, change is essential. Thank you very much for all like patience hearing, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience in between happened actually.
Well, actually, the time you were not here, we got a chance to hear from Dr. Saroj Swain about your institute and all the technologies that you're developing. So it was really good to learn about all those technologies, all those activities that your institute is carrying on. So, Dr. Jitendra Sundare, we didn't miss you. We actually enjoyed listening to Saroj Swain in between. And of course, your talk was also very enlightening. I really thank you on behalf of all the organizers for delivering such a wonderful, comprehensive talk. I really like those 10 rules, which I think each and everyone should adopt. The 10 rules were beautiful. So they are true, and we should all try our best to adopt. With that, we come to an end of the first technical session. And I once again thank the director, Dr. Saroj Swain and Jitendra Sundare, for delivering such wonderful talk and comprehensively describing about their institute. I request all the participants to join us once again for the second session of the day today.
Rajiv,
We already have the...
you can
Yeah.
open discussion.
Yeah.
Conclude.
Or any questions or anything which needs to be discussed, participants, you're welcome. Or you can contact them later on also. If something pops up in your mind later on, you can I think Dr. Saroj Swain would be very happy to answer all your questions. So
Surely.
I assume that no one else has any more questions or needs to discuss. Fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Rajiv,
thank you everybody for being.
You read out from APJ Kumar. Regarding aquaculture.
Okay, regarding we have one small query. So it is regarding aquaculture. Hope more discussions on commercial. He needs some more discussion on the startups. So APJ, I think we had this specific questions from Dr. Swain before also, that how to get a startup. And but briefly, if Dr. Swain can just let us know what kind of support you are offering for the startups at your institute.
Yeah, Dr. Rajiv, thank you. Actually, we can give technical guidance because our scientist in a particular domain scientist, as I said that I have given our WhatsApp number and email. Everybody can write whatever their requirement and we'll get back to them. any startup or anything they
Alright.
want to do in details, no problem. We are there for the country and we are there for the farmers, entrepreneurs, always.
Yeah, there's another query that is from Lipika. Lipika is concerned about consuming transgenic fish. So do you think it is safe to consume transgenic fish?
Yeah, Dr. Sundarai will speak now.
Yeah, you see, there is a no need to worry about the transgenic fish, and it has been already evaluated. So there is no issue as far as the transgenic fish is concerned.
All right. I think there are no more questions, and I once again thank SIFA to join us and to support us, and to the director and to Dr. Jitendra for being with us and to enlighten us for such new things which I never heard before. Also, I can see our second speaker of the day, Deepika, has also joined us, but her session will begin at 2:30 in the next technical session. So till then, I would request all the participants to join us well before time. I would appreciate if they can log in at 2:15 so that the next session can begin on time. Thank you all. Thanks for with us. Thank you, Dr. Singh.